復個會議啦。咁就其實咧，除咗頭先我哋委員要求當局希望佢補充書面嘅之外咧，其實有2份文件咧，佢係補充咗嘅。一份咧就係我哋上一次第一次會議咧就講到嘅一啲問題，咁其實政府當局咧係做咗一個回應嘅。咁有部分咧其實係頭先Mr. Eamon Wright 啦、Mr. Robert Pobian 咧都喺佢嘅回答內容裏邊 cover 咗。不過咧喺有一部分仍然係未 cover 嘅。咁我希望咧可以喺呢度咧請Mr. Wright 講一講上次當局嘅回應。咁第二樣嘢咧就係我哋法律顧問咧，其實係嗰陣時係有一啲問題咧係提出咗，希望政府當局回應嘅。咁我亦都希望咧喺呢度咧，你哋有機會咧就回應咗。咁等我哋所有啲委員咧就能夠有個即係 full picture 啦，把所有嘅回應，咁包埋你哋未來嘅書面回應咧，就一次過可以考慮。咁喺下邊開會之前咧，我哋就可以有一個比較清楚嘅大家嘅睇法啦，好嘛？咁或者先係邊位Robert，請你就回應咗即係金管局上次對我哋呢個委員會嘅一啲問題嘅答案，好嘛 ？Robert， 唔該。
Sure, thank you. So I'll go briefly through the questions that were raised last time in turn. The first question requested a comparison on the implementation progress of the resolution regime and the corresponding LAC rules of Hong Kong with other major international financial markets. And because we've already covered that one, if there are no objections, I'll move on to the second question. The second question asked for the estimated interest rates of LAC instruments to be issued by local AIs, and particularly those without any single major shareholders, and details of studies conducted by the HKMA. We've already briefly touched on this as well. In a previous response, we explained that the interest rate we used was conservatively set at 4%, and this is set out in the final part of the consultation paper that we issued on the 17th of January, and a summary was subsequently published in the HKMA's half-yearly monetary and financial stability report in March this year. In determining the 4%, as previously discussed, this was obtained out of returns to a survey that the HKMA issued to all locally incorporated licensed bank, which led to this 4% calibration. Particularly on the question of whether banks that do not have a single major shareholder would also have to pay a similar interest rate on their instruments. It is acknowledged that they may in practice have a marginally higher rate, but because of the conservatism in our approach, we think that 4% remains a reasonable figure.
Okay.
The next question we were asked to address was, given the expected substantial amount of loss-absorbing capacity products to be issued by major banks in the mainland, we were asked for our assessment on the demand for LAC instruments to be issued by local AIs, and thus the cost impact on those AIs. I'd like to start off by referring members to the final section of the consultation paper we issued earlier this year, which specifically addressed these points. And just to bring out some of the key points, the substantial first point is that most AIs, which will potentially be in scope for issuing LAC, would in fact be required to do that by refinancing internal funding that is already in place within their relevant banking groups. And this is because the majority of entities potentially in scope of the LAC requirements are subsidiaries in Hong Kong of banking groups that are headquartered in other jurisdictions. This means that when these entities issue LAC instruments, they will be expected to issue instruments internally within their groups up to their parents, as and when their parents then issue loss-absorbing capacity instruments. Those will be issued into global markets, which will likely be already familiar with the names and products issued by those groups. And it is well known that there is already a deep global market for these types of instruments, because many of the world's biggest banks have already, for a number of years, been issuing such instruments into those markets, including in some cases to finance their Hong Kong operations. However, we do acknowledge that there will be a few locally incorporated licensed banks, potentially covered by the LAC rules, who would be required to issue instruments and that do not have overseas parents. Our view remains that we do not see any particular issue around market capacity for such instruments for a number of reasons. I've listed half a dozen here. I'll just go through them very quickly. So one is that all relevant entities will already be issuing into the debt markets to some extent through the issuance of debt capital instruments. And while LAC instruments are not necessarily the same, it would be open to such entities to issue more capital instruments if, understandably, they chose to issue non-capital LAC debt, which would be expected to be cheaper. Their names and their investor base would nonetheless be something they would be able to leverage in doing so. In relation to the potential issuance of loss-absorbing capacity instruments by mainland banks, the lead time provided for in the LAC rules of 24 months, subject to the further latitude which my colleague has already discussed in terms of pushing back timeline, would provide issuing entities in Hong Kong with increased ability to optimize the date of the issuance of their own instruments. In addition, we would not necessarily expect the investor base for Chinese GSIBs to be the same as for locally incorporated AIs. In particular, Chinese GSIBs typically currently issue bank debt to a domestic investor base. And so we would not expect there to be necessarily direct competition amongst investors, for investors, between LAC issued by local entities in Hong Kong and Chinese GSIBs. It's also helpful to point out that there is no requirement in the rules or in the code of practice that any LAC instruments be denominated in Hong Kong dollars, governed by Hong Kong law, or issued in Hong Kong. So as a result, where locally incorporated AIs think that it would be optimal to do so, it will be totally open to them to seek investors in other markets. And finally, just to emphasize the point that there is already a developed global investor base for these types of investments. So notwithstanding the above, it's not possible to predict how market conditions will develop over time. And this is where the fact that the MA is able to provide more time, if necessary, to allow AIs adequate potential to access markets comes in useful. And as we've previously discussed, the MA can do this both by deferring the classification of an entity and then by granting more time for LAC requirements to be met. Finally, in the points coming out of the last meeting, the HKMA was asked to consider some members' suggestions of allowing an AI to use part of its assets for meeting the capital adequacy ratio to fulfill the minimum external LAC requirement. The key point to make here is that the rules do allow for exactly this. The main constituent parts of external loss-absorbing capacity and internal loss-absorbing capacity are expected to be capital, and the rules specifically allow for most capital to contribute towards the meeting of LAC requirements. The one exception is that it is not expected that where capital counts towards LAC requirements, it would also be able to count towards regulatory capital buffers. And that is because those buffers are not hard requirements, and they're designed to be able to be used by AIs without them going into resolution. So that's a run-through of some of the questions that were raised in the previous subcommittee meeting. Shall I move straight on to questions raised by the Legal Services Division?
We stop here first to see whether our members had follow-up questions on the answer. 陳健波議員，唔該。
好啊，嗱，我想 問一條問題先啦，因為佢頭先有講咧，金管局估計嗰個非資本叻嗰個係債務票嘅平均成本4%啦，佢而家仲係堅持4%啦。但係我諗希望佢重新即係考慮到香港而家個經濟情況啦、世界息口上升啦，佢會唔會重新估計究竟係5%啦，定好似頭先嗰啲銀行界咁講，起碼5或者更加高係嘛？咁佢會唔會仲係維持4？如果仲係維持4，佢可唔可以解釋埋點解係嘛？
好啊。金管局嘅同事。
Just to clarify, the 4% is not a number that is set or calibrated by the HKMA. This was our estimate in the cost-benefit analysis we did of the rate that in practice AIs would have to pay to the market in order to issue LAC instruments. Of course, going forward over time, as the macroeconomic environment continues to evolve, it might be that AIs have to pay higher or lower interest rates in order to raise funding. I think the one point I would make is that, generally speaking, in a macroeconomic environment which sees higher interest rates, that sort of environment, yes, it is quite likely that banks may have to pay more in order to issue their own funding. But in that environment, typically, we expect banks to have more opportunities to raise revenues and increase profits.
主席，另外嗱，總之即係佢都明白其實佢都係2017年嘅數嚟嘅，咁即係其實佢即係啲銀行都講得好清楚啦。咁我相信又點都唔會係低過4%嘅，一定係高過，甚至更高。咁頭先有啲人同我講話可能係7-8%添，不過我唔知邊個真啊。咁另外我想如果佢文件交代，好多謝阿主席頭先你提啦，即係好多問題佢要書面交代啦。我好希望佢咧交代翻世界各地嗰啲金融監管者，佢點樣界定處置嘅實體啊？因為似乎咧美國、日本、英國咧都係淨係做 G-ship 或者 D-ship 嘅啫。咁我想起碼佢真係要話用書面解釋，究竟世界上有冇人係以外嘅都要做咯嚇？即係呢個好重要，因為一路都冇講到啊。但係似乎咧就世界各地都係淨係處理即係好似美國咁大啊、日本啊、英國都係淨係做 G-ship。咁點解香港政府要做一個？雖然佢有講係其中一個考慮點啫嚇，咁但係其實都甚至嗰1500都係考慮點啫。但係你落咗去就係考慮啲因素啦，係咪？咁我希望佢書面有解釋咯。
好啊，好啊。咁除咗陳健波議員嗰個問題，即係對即係金管局或者政府當局嘅回應嗰個問題之外，對頭先嘅回應，大家仲有冇咩睇法？如果冇咧，咁我由法律顧問去將我哋即係法律事務部嘅問題咧，係同政府當局咧，亦都即係過一過，好嘛？麻煩你法律顧問。
係我睇到咧係政府琴日都答翻我哋一啲有關呢條regulation 嘅一啲法律嘅問題啦。咁我或者我唔會再每一條逐條去講，咁但係只不過咧係睇完答案之後咧，我講翻啲我自己一啲concern 嘅。咁譬如咧喺政府嘅回覆入邊第7點啦，佢講到咧就係話咧係關於喺 regulation 第3條入邊咧就話咧係呢個resolution authority 咧就可以咧係by 一個 written notice serve on 一個classifiable entity 咧 identify 一個咧係 resolution strategy as 一個 prefer 嘅 resolution 去 cover 嗰個entity 咁樣。咁咧就我喺寫俾你哋嘅信入邊咧就問到啦，點解咧係會唔會話考慮咧係喺封信入邊提供一啲解釋咩 ground 你去點會去 identify 某一個 strategy 咧咁樣，同埋咧有冇機會俾嗰個受影響嘅 entity 去 make 一個 written 嘅 representations 咁樣啦。咁咧就我睇到政府嘅回覆咧就話咧係第一點啦，就係因為咧係立法會喺審議 Federal 嘅時候咧就接受咗咧就話咧呢個 decision 咧係it's not decision that is reviewable by the RRT 咁樣嘅。咁呢個係一點啦嚇。咁但係另外我都要睇翻從嗰個法律嘅角度去睇咧，就係我哋要考慮呢個係咪一個due process 嘅問題啊？係嘛？咁因為呢個決定都係一個幾重要嘅決定啦，係咪？因為你真係identify 咗一個 strategy 嘅 嘅話咧，咁佢就要去 abide by 呢個 rules 入邊嗰啲 regulation 啦咁樣。咁即係如果佢呢個受影響嘅 entity 冇機會去make 一個 written representation， 咁會唔會即係有啲 procedurally 嘅 fairness 嘅問題咧咁樣？另外一點咧就係話咧，你哋考慮即係你個回覆入邊都提到啦，因為要考慮到一個speed 同埋呢個 flexibility 嘅問題。OK， 咁咧就係should not be subject to 一啲judicial action 咁樣。咁但係正就係冇一啲當喺一個 resolution regime 入邊冇一啲 review 嘅procedure 嘅時候咧，變咗呢個受影響 entity， 如果佢有啲乜嘢異議嘅時候咧，佢唯一嘅途徑咧就係走去 JR， 係咪？咁但係如果你諗翻比較起 JR， 如果真係要 JR 嘅話，咁佢會令到成個 process 嘅時間係更加長咗咧，係咪？咁同你個 speed 嗰個原意係好似係反而達唔到啦，同埋係即係增加咗個 cost 啦，同埋都係增加咗 uncertainty 啦咁樣。咁其實咁所以咧係啦，所以會唔會因為即係剛才我提到嘅呢幾點咧，就會考慮翻其實提供翻一啲procedure 啦，令到一個受影響嘅實體咧，佢有機會去講翻佢嘅一啲意見啊 ，OK， 或者咧係即係令你哋可以俾翻啲詳細嘅 ground 去解釋啊咁樣嚇，咁咧就係啦。呢部分咧就係我嘅 comment 就係咁樣嚇。
其實法律顧問呢個 comment 咧有啲似啊涂謹申議員咧，係即係頭先發表嘅意見都係有類似嘅。咁我想睇下你哋個理解係點樣樣咯。唔該。
Thank you for your question. I think the key point to make here is that the power that the resolution authority has to devise resolution strategies is not set out in the LAC rules. So it would not follow that the LAC rules should provide, for example, an opportunity for an AI to make representations or to be able to appeal to the Resolvability Review Tribunal in respect of a resolution strategy devised by the resolution authority. It's section 13 of the FIRO where that power of the resolution authority is actually set out. And because the FIRO itself does not provide for a representation opportunity or an opportunity to appeal to the Resolvability Review Tribunal, it doesn't seem consistent to try now and put that into the LAC rules. So that's kind of the technical kind of legal response. But I guess we'd also like to offer a reassurance that in developing, that in doing resolution planning for an AI and in developing a resolution strategy, there will, as a matter of practice, be opportunities for AIs to interact and to feed into that process. So, for example, we have published a Code of Practice chapter which allows us to require AIs to submit information to the HKMA, and when they do that, they have an opportunity to, for example, make proposals around an appropriate strategy.
And just to add briefly to that, our experience to date, where we have requested what we call a resolution strategy information requirement, the Code of Practice chapter that Mr. Probin mentioned, is that AIs have indeed taken the opportunity to always express their preference for a preferred resolution strategy, and the MA has taken that into account when considering preferred resolution strategy decisions. So that's a very important place where we explicitly invite firms to express their views on the preferred strategy. And that's kind of how we work in practice. Case by case, the resolution planning process is iterative. It's a dialogue with firms. We are working very closely together. But I don't think that should change the very important point that the FIRO sets out, which is very consistent with the international FSB key attributes, which makes clear that this is a judgment by the authorities. The resolution plan is the authorities' plan rather than the firm's plan. So I think the legal position is well established and consistent with international norms, but we really benefit the dialogue that we have with firms and welcome their views.
暫時未有嘅啦。
OK。咁法律顧問呢邊就冇其他嘅 follow up questions 啦。咁睇下委員嗰度仲有冇乜嘢就法律顧問問嘅嘢，政府當局嘅回應有冇乜嘢再要跟進嘅？如果冇呢，就今日會議想討論嘅嘢呢，我都覺得已經討論咗啦。咁而家剩翻嘅呢，就話政府當局呢，就今日我哋所有委員提出嘅問題呢，要求有個書面回應。嗱，記住除咗第一部分之外呢，頭先陳健波議員都想即係你哋對世界金融機構呢界定處置實體嗰度呢，亦都俾翻一個即係回應佢啦，書面回應佢。咁我希望你哋即係盡快俾啦，因為我哋可以決定到下一次，因為而家我哋決定唔到下一次嘅會議日期嘅。下個禮拜一唔得嘅喎，因為佢趕唔切嘅嘛。
但係其實我哋都好問㗎，因為我哋個時間表咧，我哋因為已經延展咗。係啊係啊。但係我哋一定要下個禮拜五咧就要報告內會㗎啦。係啊。
下個禮拜五要報告內會。
係啊，因為計翻個時間表係咁咯。咁你可以做一個口頭報告都得。
係咯係咯。
所以就算係唔下個禮拜一開嘅話咧，你都係講緊2同3㗎咋。
我想問，因為我哋要報告內會咧，就要下個禮拜五。各位委員啊，我哋報告內會咧，就根據秘書講咧，就要下個禮拜五。咁所以咧，我哋就要喺下個禮拜咧就要開會㗎啦。咁下個禮拜二上晝咧，其實就有呢個叻嘅稅務嘅委員會嘅，係啦。咁我唔知係咪同一批工作人員？係我係。即係你哋唔可以分身處理兩部分嘢嘅。
官員都係。
係，你哋都係。咁
內會可唔可以再延展啊？
唔得，延展咗啦已經。
延展咗一次啦。我上個禮拜大會已經將呢個會議嘅審議日期咧延展到12月12號啊。阿張華峰議員，唔該。
主席啊，我想咧，即係如果政府書面回應俾涂謹申同埋波哥嗰啲文件，可唔可以一齊俾一份我咧？
哦，會，我哋會俾晒俾所有委員嘅。而家我就諗緊咧，政府當局需要幾多時間去俾到嗰個即係書面答覆咧？你哋估計？
我哋當然會盡快，即係我哋都。
但係今日星期五咯喎。
係啊，我哋同事可能已經做緊嘢都唔定。
好。
Close Monday，
禮拜三之後。
星期一放工嘅時候。
好嘛？因為嗰係公務啊嘛。公務
俾到一份，
咁我哋喺另外一間房咯。好嗱，我哋爭取禮拜三上晝啦，因為禮拜三上晝有公務小組。咁我見呢度嗰啲委員呢，有部分係公務小組啦，又唔係全部。咁同埋都留翻啲時間俾你哋去回應啦。咁我哋爭取就星期三上晝嗰個時間，好唔好啊？
應該係8點半㗎啦。
係啦，8點半嗰個時段啦，好冇？好。咁其他委員有冇咩意見？
我諗我哋收到要再傾咯，因為
係啊，
答得好差，咁你冇理由開會噶嘛。
係啦。
咁所以你如果有需要，咪內會再延展咯，可以咁。
好啊，
唔係延展一次。
唔係延展啊，冇得延展啊。
冇得再延展㗎啦，已經延展咗嘅。據我理解就因為已經延展咗，所以頭先我哋講嗰個立法時間表已經係最後一個時間表。當然我明陳議員嗰個關注嘅，咁我哋盡量喺禮拜三開會。如果真係有需要，我哋都會喺內會星期5個會咧就報告咗先。咁當然即係可能報告咗都要再開會，即係最壞嘅情況都可以係咁樣嘅嚇。
即係內會係報告啫，可以報告話我哋仲喺度審議中嘅。係啊，嚇。好，咁澄清咗個情況啦。咁我哋如果今日冇其他嘢咧，今日會議就結束。咁我哋爭取下個禮拜我哋再討論呢個事，好冇？唔該晒各位，多謝。